1959 tank. It's a Ferret Scout car. It's got a 30 caliber machine gun on it. And I'm just driving around. Just driving around.
Hi, everyone. Imagine this. Two comedy legends, Jay Leno and Tim Allen, stepping back onto the screen together. For decades, they've been household names, weathering fame, controversies, accidents, and personal struggles. Now they're side by side once again in shifting gears. But this reunion isn't just another project, it's a story decades in the making, born from resilience, laughter, and survival. And here's the twist. Jay Leno has finally broken his silence about teaming up with Tim Allen again. What did he reveal? And what does this reunion really mean for fans? Stick around, because this story is bigger than nostalgia. Long before their names lit up marquees, both Jay Leno and Tim Allen were underdogs. Jay Leno, born in New Rochelle, New York, wasn't handed comedy on a silver platter. He grew up in a working-class family, learning early that if he wanted something, he had to earn it. By the 1970s, he was hustling through comedy clubs, honing a style of observational humor that could turn the simplest slice of life into laughter. His big break came not from connections, but from persistence, performing anywhere, for anyone, until he became one of the most reliable names in late-night comedy. Meanwhile, Tim Allen, born Timothy Allen Dick in Denver, Colorado, had a rockier start. His childhood was marked by tragedy when his father was killed by a drunk driver while Tim was just 11 years old. That loss hardened him, but also planted the seeds of resilience. After a troubled young adulthood, Allen eventually found his calling on stage, blending self-deprecating wit with a love of tools, mechanics, and the quirks of masculinity. His stand-up evolved into a signature style, part everyman, part philosopher, always funny. By the 1980s and 1990s, both men had firmly carved out their places in American pop culture. Jay Leno rose through the comedy ranks to become one of the most dependable and hard-working comics in the country. His big break came when he was chosen to succeed Johnny Carson as host of The Tonight Show in 1992. But it wasn't a smooth handoff. The infamous late-night wars with David Letterman dominated headlines, painting Leno as both hero and villain depending on who you asked. Yet through the noise, Leno's greatest strength shone through: consistency. Night after night, he delivered monologues that connected with middle America. He spoke to the everyday frustrations, joys, and absurdities of life, making him a fixture in millions of living rooms. Meanwhile, Tim Allen was becoming a sensation in his own right. In 1991, Home Improvement premiered, and Allen's alter ego, Tim the Tool Man Taylor, quickly became one of the most beloved sitcom dads of all time. With his mix of bumbling mistakes, loud grunts, and heartfelt family moments, the character struck a chord with audiences. The show dominated ratings throughout the decade, cementing Allen as a household name. His stand-up roots were always present in the show's humor, sharp, relatable, and grounded in the everyday. But Allen didn't stop at television. He made a seamless leap into movies, voicing Buzz Lightyear in Pixar's Toy Story, starring in the holiday classic The Santa Claus, and leading other family hits. By the mid-1990s, Allen had proven himself not just as a TV star, but as a true Hollywood player. Yet fame carried shadows. Tim Allen's struggles with the law preceded his rise. In the late 1970s, long before Home Improvement, he was arrested for drug possession, an ordeal that could have ended his future before it began. Serving time forced him to rebuild his life, and he carried those lessons with him even as success arrived. Later, at the height of his fame, he was candid about battles with divorce, rehab, and the pressures of stardom. Fans saw not just a celebrity, but a flawed man, striving to do better, and that vulnerability made him all the more relatable. Jay Leno, while not embroiled in scandal, carried the weight of public scrutiny. His feud with David Letterman and later with Conan O'Brien painted him as both the villain and the hero of late-night television. To some, he was ruthless. To others, simply pragmatic. Behind the scenes, though, Leno was a workhorse, famously frugal and deeply committed to his passions, especially his love for cars. Both men discovered that fame magnifies flaws as much as it celebrates talent. What truly united Jay Leno and Tim Allen beyond their comedy careers was their lifelong love for machines. Both men, in different ways, built second identities around cars, engines, and tools. For Leno, this passion became legendary. His show, Jay Leno's Garage, showcased not only his extensive collection of rare cars and motorcycles, but also his encyclopedic knowledge of automotive history. With hundreds of meticulously restored vehicles, Leno wasn't just a collector showing off expensive toys. He was a caretaker of automotive culture. His enthusiasm for engines, design, and the artistry of restoration turned him into one of the most respected car aficionados in the world. Tim Allen shared that same spark, though his passion was expressed differently. From his earliest stand-up routines to his starring role in Home Improvement, Allen infused his comedy with tools, engines, and mechanical humor. But it wasn't just a character quirk for laughs. It was part of who he really was. Away from the spotlight, Allen spent countless hours in his workshop, restoring cars, tinkering with machinery, and celebrating the ingenuity of craftsmanship. To fans, this authenticity was refreshing. The tool man wasn't a persona dreamed up by Hollywood. It was Tim Allen, brought to life on screen. Given these shared passions, it was no surprise when the two found themselves working together on projects like Last Man Standing, and now their newest venture, Shifting Gears. With cars and comedy as their backdrop, their partnership felt natural, almost inevitable. Two men who had lived parallel lives, finally aligning their worlds. But the road to their reunion was anything but smooth. In 2022, Jay Leno endured one of the darkest chapters of his life when a gasoline fire erupted while he worked on one of his beloved vehicles. The accident left him with severe burns across his face and hands. For many, such an ordeal would have meant the end of a public career. But Leno, true to form, refused to let tragedy define him. Within months, he was back, scarred but smiling, still telling jokes, still doing what he loved. His resilience inspired fans and reminded the world just how tough he really was. Tim Allen, too, faced storms of his own. In 2017, his sitcom Last Man Standing was abruptly canceled, sparking outrage among fans who believed the decision was politically motivated. The cancellation frustrated Allen, but he didn't let it break him. Instead, his fans rallied so passionately that the show was eventually revived, proving his enduring popularity and connection with audiences. Through fire, controversy, and setbacks, both men demonstrated the same grit and determination that carried them from obscurity to stardom decades earlier. And now, united once again, they bring not just their humor, but their hard-earned resilience to the screen. Which brings us to today, the reunion. Jay Leno and Tim Allen together in Shifting Gears. For fans, it feels like a natural pairing, almost inevitable. Two men defined by comedy, machinery, and resilience, finally sharing the screen in a project that celebrates their passions. Their chemistry is undeniable. On camera, they tease each other like old friends. Off camera, they share mutual respect born of decades in the trenches of show business. They've both been knocked down, but they've both gotten back up. And that bond resonates with audiences. The reunion isn't just about cars, comedy, or nostalgia. It's about survival. It's about proving that even after decades in the spotlight, after scandals, accidents, and criticism, you can still come back, still make people laugh, still matter. When we look at Jay Leno and Tim Allen, we see more than just entertainers. We see resilience. We see men who took hits but kept moving forward. We see legends who turned personal flaws into relatable humor, who built careers on authenticity, and who never stopped chasing what they loved. For Leno, the legacy is late-night television, a garage filled with automotive treasures, and a reputation as one of the hardest-working comics in history. For Allen, it's the timeless laughs of Home Improvement, the iconic voice of Buzz Lightyear, the magic of the Santa Claus, and the blue-collar humor that still connects with millions. And together their reunion represents more than entertainment. It represents friendship, resilience, and the enduring power of laughter. Two men, two careers, two legacies, now reunited. Jay Leno and Tim Allen remind us that comedy isn't just about jokes, and fame isn't just about glory. It's about surviving the tough times, staying true to your passions, and never forgetting where you came from. So what do you think? Does the reunion of these two comedy titans excite you as much as it excites us? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you grew up laughing with The Tonight Show or Home Improvement, let us know your favorite moment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories about the legends who shaped our culture. Thanks for watching.